So wow. Yeah, this other variant in the environment, holy crap. Today I was so lethargic. Oh my God, so lethargic. And I made myself a pancake. And it's like the Krusty's brand, and just put it in a cup, mixed it with milk, and then put it on the stove with butter. And I got some energy back, like I really needed. Like I had some protein and I had some pasta. I had some skirt steak and I had some pasta. Then I had that pancake. And so, yeah. So, anyways, so I know how aggressive this environment is. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Yes, Ohio is going through some shit. I'm telling you, we are going through some shit. And so, I can see why we're on CNN all the time, you know, talking about how the uptick is happening as far as another surge, another wave. So, anyways, biofortification. Okay, so it's another way of saying, evolution. Okay, here's the thing. To know when something is poison, it's either something that's commercially produced that is not FDA approved, or it's not food grade. That's how you know something is poison, is that it's not meant to be eaten. It's like not meant to be ingested. So when you go to the hardware store, there is nothing in there unless you go to the point of sale part of the counter where they have candy bars and Cokes. You go in the back of the store where they have the paints and all the paint thinners and all that stuff. You can't eat that, okay? So don't try to eat that. But everything in the food supply, it's been biofortified for evolutionary purposes. They had to change it from GMO because people were freaking out over the word genetically modified. They're like, oh my God, it's going to cause you to do this, cause you to do that. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I've been down that road in the holistic world when they're scared about everything. And so biofortification is evolution. You have to have it in the food supply, in the air. I mean, look, if they were really poisoning you in the air and the food and the water, all of humanity would be dead. So would all of life. There would be no way life could actually live if they were actually poisoning the air, food, and water. Okay, that is just the common sense when you're not working from an unbalanced energy. When you finally clear your gut with the J juice and you eat the food supply and you go through most of your healing symptoms and you finally are able to graduate to an intellectual evolution, which some of you are dying to get to, but you haven't earned that point yet, then you will see where I'm coming from. But a lot of you are still stuck in taking a side, looking for an enemy, wanting to destroy friends and family and everything out there, and because they don't believe what you believe, and you're wanting to ram your thought process down someone's throat. I mean, you name it, we see it all over everywhere, what people are doing when it comes to unbalanced energy. And so I've learned, I've crossed boundaries, I've done all that stuff, and I've demonized things, and I've tried to convert people into my world, and I'll tell you what, no one wants to be converted. They want to be able to know that they're making that choice themselves. Okay, and I get that. I mean, I'm the same way too. When someone tells me, you have a problem with this, Jillian, and I'm like, and then I see where they're coming from, but I don't want to be like right away showing that I've changed, saying like, oh yeah, I'm going to listen to this person. Down the road, I'm going to then start adopting what they're saying, and like, I get it. I know where they're coming from now. And that's kind of like a passive aggressive way of saying, okay, you're right, but I'm not going to tell you you're right. And that's fine. I mean, whatever. That's how we do things. It's just the world that we live in. So balanced energy is when you're understanding what biofortification is. Balanced energy is understanding that you have the elements on the periodic tables that are then formulated into something that's ingestible, edible, and that's food grade or industrial grade. Okay, so when you're taking apart margarine and saying, oh God, it's made from, it's like one molecule away from plastic. Okay, so big deal. We live in a microbiome that has biodiversity. It has the elements on the periodic tables. You have minerals in your body. You have a certain amount of fluoride in your body, a certain amount of electrolytes in your body, a certain amount of mercury in your body. You have so much, a conglomeration of minerals and elements and biochemistry, and then the salt and then the food supply will then figure out what is excess and then release it and then keep what it's needed to also reinforce everything that keeps you going. And so, yeah, And so I see people are like, oh God, watch out for Bill Gates. He's taking, the meat and taking from fresh meat into like incognito. And I don't care. I'll eat whatever fake meat that's out there. It's all amino acids. They're going to biofortify it and have it still support my DNA structure. I'm not worried about what Bill Gates is doing as far as the food supply. I don't really care. As long as it supports my biochemistry and I can get the full complete proteins, I get the sugars, I get the salts, I get the water, I get, all the fatty acids and whatever, and I'm fine. I mean, I could do, if they only give you a drink where it has enough of the salt, it has fermentation like probiotics, it has the sugar, it has everything you could possibly want. Do I need to have 6 million packages of food? Or could I have everything in like one shake? That might taste a bit salty, might taste a little bit sweet. So Jerry Booth, I think it's pretty awesome. You've triggered me into that whole thing with fermentation, because I was demonizing the kombucha and the apple cider vinegar. Though we're not taking kombucha, apple cider vinegar in reaction to any kind of remedy, but you can take the sugar fermentation and the milk fermentation, like yogurt and kefir and all that stuff, and drink it with the J juice. You can have them in separate bottles, separate glasses, and you still have the food supply, the donuts and the meat and the milks and all that stuff. And that would give you a balanced diet. So as long as you know your imbalances, if you're obese, maybe do more of the salty fermentation than you do the sweet fermentation. But you still need the sugar to keep the covalent bonds. And so it's all about balance, but you still have to release the excess. And so sometimes people do lay off of some of the food supply, not all of it, but a little bit. And they bring in more of the J juice to release and allow their colon to release the caked on poop in their intestines and their gut, so they can lose not only a bunch of weight, but also finally take the stress off their vital organs. People die from heart attacks and strokes and autoimmune disorders like diabetes and other types of neurological or cardiovascular, or hell, I don't know, so many other issues that people are dying from because there's so much stress on their vital organs. And then, you bring in the sugars and the meats and all that stuff, and then you start balancing out your biochemistry. And then if you're not like right now, I'm so focused on my book and trying to get through this stupid environment that right now all I'm doing is just eating, sleeping, doing my book, and taking care of my dog and my husband and all that stuff. And that's the extent of it. I don't go and run. I don't do a bunch of walking. But when I'm done with my book, when I'm done targeting my brain and trying to utilize my brain so much, and only put my energy towards what I'm doing, then I'm gonna work out a little bit and bring some muscle tone back to my body. I'm not trying to get a six-pack or anything, but I do want to tone up, and I want to have like a certain shape, but I'm not gonna go overboard. Okay? And so then you can start sculpting your body to what you want when you finally get through your physical and your spiritual and your intellectual issues. Okay? And then you can program yourself to do and be whatever. So biofortification isn't a bad thing. I wish we had a food supply where everything was in one package. And I have the JHs right here, and then I have just like a food right here. There's so much diverse food. That's where the market is where you have so much diverse food, because people make money off of all their different recipes and their different restaurants and their different ways to cook food. And that's fine. It is what it is. But I'm more eat to live than live to eat. Because I'll tell you what, if I, during the day when I'm working, I really don't want to, at 12 I have to eat something, because I don't eat anything. I drink coffee in the morning, and then I'm typing, and then about 12 I'm like super hungry. And if there's a variant in the environment, then I get really tired and I have to take a nap. But today I was tired, but I didn't really feel like working, but I wasn't sleeping. I was just kind of lethargic. And then I made a pancake, and that pancake kind of gave me a bit more energy, but I'm still feeling but I know, because it's a new variant. My dog feels it too. She's tired and everything, but she's doing okay. She's just a good girl. I don't know if you can see her. There she is. There's Sugar. So, she feels it too, but she's a very calm dog, and she just kind of sits next to me and just does what she does. but I know she feels it. And so your animals will feel it, your kids will feel it. If you haven't felt it already, then you're taking your pills and your powder and supplements and your painkillers so you don't feel your evolution. And that's what then stops people from living indefinitely. It stops the potential immortality when you are taking all of your different remedies because you don't want to feel pain. Okay, so if you're going to feel pain, yeah, you must support it correctly, but you also have to be prepared to deal with it and rest. And so some of you guys have set up your life to where you have no rest. You don't give yourself rest. You have no rest. You basically jam pack your schedule where the only time that you can able to sleep is like maybe for 5 hours because you have yourself scheduled so close and you're basically burning the candle on both ends. That's not the Jeju's world. You have to be able to really carve out a lot of time for your healing process because you've given your energy to so many people, your kids, your family, your friends, your job, all of your different clubs and whatever, and you have given really nothing to yourself. Everything that you've given to yourself, you've given it to everybody else for free, and no one really pays for it because everyone expects you to give your energy to them because they're like, oh, she's such a generous person. She's a beautiful person. She's given everything to me. And so then we take on this whole sacrificial lamb. And then we become crusader rabbits. Oh, now I'm going to go save the world. And then you start imposing your belief system on other people because that's what humans do that don't want to save themselves. So anyways, that's all I'm going to say. But biofortification is not poison. It's not bad. And people who are demonizing Bill Gates and GMO and biofortification don't know really how the world works. Because we live in a microbiome full of the periodic tables of elements and biodiversity and the microbiome. And if you can't really find a way to align yourself with your environment, you're going to have trouble evolving and adapting. And so any new information that comes into the environment, whether microcosmically or macrocosmically, you will have an issue with, and you'll be going to the hospital getting something removed. And then you will have a very predictable shortened lifespan, of which you're prepared for anyway, so it shouldn't be anything new and different. But now I'm proposing something new, that you don't really have to die. Immortality is what is possible for humans. But you have to understand what it takes to be immortal. And this does come from the Greek gods. And what's the trip is the pharaohs, the kings, were mortal. Imagine humans were actually higher than the kings and the pharaohs. What the heck? They were mummified. Maybe they lived to be 1,000 years old. I don't know. But if we technologically advanced humans in 2020 is able to adapt and align to the atmosphere and evolve, the only thing we would die from is something totally freak accident, completely out of our control. But you would not die from natural causes. Natural causes is because you have failed to balance out your biochemistry. So what would you die from? Something completely freak accident. So anyway, something to think about. But my next book coming out in the end of summer, beginning of fall, it's going to cover the Greek mythology. It's going to cover, Jilly Juice and immortality. It's going to cover the Jilly Juice. It's going to cover what to expect. It's going to cover my testimony. It's going to cover some parts, some aspects of my rolling out the Jilly Juice and the Dr. Phil stuff. It's going to cover pretty much my whole journey. And then the conclusion, what does the future hold? Well, it's still yet to be determined, but I could say, here's the thing, when 20, 30, 40 years from now, and I still look like this, and I'm showing my ID to some police officer who's like, dude, you look like you're like 30 or 40, and we're in 2050, 2060, and you were born in 1974. Shouldn't you be dead by now or something? Oh no, just Google me and Jilly Juice. Google me and Dr. Phil. I'm the crazy person that says that you can live indefinitely. Oh wait, here I am. And all of you that are on the J Juice, you have now that to refer to. No one's going to think you're crazy or a vampire because somebody put out there that yes, living indefinitely is possible, which means that when you get stopped by a police officer 50 years from now and you look the way you do today, amazing and young and vital and great, they'd be like, wow, so you're one of those. You're one of the Jilly Juice people. That's my gift to you guys, is to blow the socks off of your community 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. Because it's not really about immediately. People don't really get, they think that I'm Asian, so, oh, you hold your age well, so. So fine, I really don't make too much of an impact right now at 47 years old, but give it 10 years when I'm 57, 67. And I still look like this. That's what I'm counting on. And that's what I want you guys to count on. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you. All right, I'm going to go. But biofortification is not poison. Just keep adapting to the level of your environment, because I'm telling you that the grid's going to go up. So are the viruses. And you have to be able to keep up with your environment. If you can't, you're going to fall behind, and it's going to be painful. And then you're going to try to anesthetize yourself, and then you're going to shorten your lifespan. So just expect to be tired, expect to have to work through some of your shit, and then take time to heal. And biofortification is evolution. It's new data, and you'll be fine. All right, bye.